This video is sponsored by Surfshark.
Hello and welcome to my channel. I would say long time no talk, but it's actually only been like 2 weeks. Sometimes I'll feel, well, not bad, but like a type of way for not uploading really consistently. And then I'll remember the last time I was uploading, I was doing like 4 videos in a week, which is for some people an entire month of content. So I give myself a little bit of a break. I also notice that sometimes people go like months, several months, like 2-3 months before they upload again. So not that long, but it's been a little bit long for me and my channel. There's a reason for that. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you're even more so if you're on my Patreon, then you know that I was going into this month and I got hit with on May 1st. I got some little puppies. And that's been a whole thing. And eventually I gave one away and I held on to one. And so potty training and vet visits, and there were intestinal issues with the dogs, and it was a lot. And so that would really leave me kind of exhausted at the end of the day, and I didn't really have a whole bunch of energy to hop on and make videos. Also, I think that when it came to me responding, I know I keep kind of bringing this up. Well, not keep bringing it up, but I did back in April make a video responding to some of the things that I had seen online about me. And I think at the time I wanted to be intellectual about it, but I think I did have to take a little bit of time to kind of feel my feelings about that whole thing. That was the sort of discovery that might lead someone to say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore at all. And what was really cool that came out of that discovery, and I will link it below, is I actually had a writer from Forbes magazine reach out to me to talk to me about, kind of how I feel, basically what I was saying in that video, what I feel the journey is when you are a content creator who chooses to be very vulnerable online, and you are also a Black woman, and how those things kind of go together. So saying all that to say, I took some space on purpose, but I also was hit with some life responsibilities that meant that I had to kind of take a little bit of space. But I also have just been thinking a little bit about my life lately. And, there's a lot of mantras out there that people are encouraged to adopt and adapt to in order to live life correctly. Everything from being that girl, which doesn't really apply to me because I'm literally almost 40 years old, to being really soft and feminine, to, there's a lot of things. Back in the days of when millennials ruled the roost, it was, what was it? Being a boss babe, right? And then, that whole culture kind of imploded. But recently I've gotten into and started to kind of want to begin to espouse the whole idea of living a soft life. Normally when I see things come up on my, algorithm, like say I'll be on TikTok, or I see things come up on Twitter or whatever, and it's about like what people should do to, like I said, live correctly, I'll just ignore it because I really don't think there's any one way to do what needs to be done. But this mantra, this way of thinking about life in particular, has really, really struck me. And it's something that I have been trying to get more into doing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the soft life lifestyle, why it appeals to me, especially like we're here in Mental Health Awareness Month. And I just think about what I was doing this time last year, where I was working a full day teaching the kids, and then in the afternoon I was making videos to post on YouTube. And then when I was done with that, I would go into grading, and I would, there was a lot going on. I had an operation, it was a lot. And I think about this year and what just different choices of life have allowed me to kind of experience. Yeah, I want to say the soft life is for me. It really is. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what that is exactly, why it appeals to me so much, how I feel it intertwines with other brands of lifestyle that I see promoted to people online, specifically promoted to women, specifically promoted to Black women, and why I feel that overall it is a superior way of sort of looking at how to go about living your life. But before I continue, I would love to thank the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark. So sometimes when I am researching, videos like this one, even though this is like a very short, like sort of quick to the point video, I still have to kind of go all over the internet, specifically with the soft life content. Like I was not aware of how much of it came from the country of South Africa. Like there's a lot of information there. I go to all kinds of Twitter places, message boards, and in order to keep my connection safe while I'm doing all of this searching, I use a Surfshark VPN.
A Surfshark VPN, and VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, helps keep your online identity safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device and the internet. It also swaps the real location of your device with a new one, aka changing your IP address. This way you can travel to any country around the globe. So, like I said, one of my favorite things about using the VPN is that I'm able to secure my online data. For example, a VPN, like I said before, encrypts your online data and helps to secure your personal information when you use free public Wi-Fi. So, let's say I am, studying or researching what I want to talk about, reading my little articles at Starbucks or whatever, I can make sure that my personal information is protected. I also love that when I'm looking up certain things, or even like, let's say I wanted to watch a documentary and it wasn't available here in America, I can change my virtual location. And that means that I can, watch content that might not be available in the United States by simply using my Surfshark VPN.
If you'd like to experiment with a Surfshark VPN, then you can use my code here on the screen, StephCo, for 83% off and 3 months free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to trying it out. The link will be in the description box below. In an article entitled "The Soft Life, a Silent Protest," the soft life is a life of ease without requiring hard work, sacrifice, and unpleasantness. It is important to understand that this social movement is less about wealth and more about fair access to a standardized good quality of living. So like I said, for me, there's a lot of different things that are promoted as far as like how people should live their best lives on social media, especially. And normally I'm just like closed ears to a lot of it. But after years of living sort of paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, really, really struggling mentally, financially, I do very much feel like I'm heading into this new era of my life where I'm embracing just, the very definition that I just read. And what's interesting is I definitely had some pushback to this idea before, because you do find a lot of people that talk about living a soft life. You also find connections to the whole femininity movement and femininity coaching. And I do think that even though the two are different, they are very intertwined. Now, actually, this video was supposed to be one where I talked about my whole take on the femininity thing, and specifically why you've seen such a proliferation of it being taught on social media over the past few years, specifically why you see it being promoted to Black women all over social media, why there's so much content, why people seek to consume it and to criticize it. And then I just realized that there are enough takes. All it takes is, just looking up the word on YouTube, and you see a bunch of things supporting it. You see a bunch of things criticizing it. And I really didn't want to add another voice to something that's already been gone over and over again. But when I started to see these two ideas bumping together on social media, I was like, oh, there's something there. There's a little bit of nuance there that I want to uncover. And like I said before, the two things do get intertwined, because what a lot of people will tell you that are fans of modern day femininity practices and, those schools of thought, is they will tell you that, first of all, if a woman is really living in her feminine energy, she is a soft woman. She's soft spoken. She dresses in soft colors. She doesn't do things that would be considered masculine or be considered evidence of her living in her masculine energy. And I'll talk about what some of those things are in a second. And mostly she does these things so that she can come into contact with a man who is living in his masculine energy, and he can provide for her the resources needed to live a soft life. And in that case, what we're specifically talking about is a hypergamous relationship where the woman meets somebody who is very wealthy and has a lot of money, and because she's so feminine and so wonderful, he just gives it all to her and she has all his resources. And so now she lives softly forever. So that's how the two things intertwine. And people that criticize that content do so because in a lot of ways, it's just a misogynistic oversimplification of a woman's existence. And that's, who's surprised? But that's where I tend to fall on the spectrum. For example, I was watching a TikTok video and a girl or a young woman was fixing her bed. And she's, working with a wrench in the video. And then she says, I can't wait for the day when I can step out of my masculine and just be in my feminine energy. And people in the comments, were supporting her and were saying, yes, absolutely. We want to reject that masculine energy. We want to only do feminine and soft things. And I couldn't disagree more, because for me, I really felt like I came into my full womanhood when I stopped holding that space of doing those things and those activities that might be codified as male activities, I stopped holding that space for the invisible man, and I just learned how to do it myself. It gave me a sense of overall self-reliance. And another thing that people tend to criticize when it comes to women not being feminine is women being too independent. But in a lot of ways, these are things I needed to do for survival. I'll just put it to you like this. What do you do if that hypermasculine man is not there? Are you just supposed to leave the bed unfixed? Are you just supposed to leave the furniture unassembled? Are you just supposed to sit there and sit softly in a room with a bunch of broken furniture? I don't think so. This idea that in order to be a full woman, you have to be less of a human being really doesn't appeal to me at all. And like I said, I often do see on social media the idea of being hyper feminine and the idea of living a soft life pushed together. I saw another video recently where someone was like, it wasn't until I started dating wealthy men that I was really able to be as soft. And I felt that that was unfortunate because, I mean, we've lived in an era for a long time now where women can work. We can go out, we can earn our own money, we can do things for ourselves. And I don't know, just this idea that the only access that you would have to a soft existence is through the wallet of a man that may or may not appear. It doesn't appeal to me. But I do understand why it does appeal to so many women, specifically Black women. According to the article, Black Feminism and the Hot Contested Trend of Femininity Coaching, posted on the website intersectedproject.org, femininity coaching is appealing to Black women, a demographic that experiences the lowest rates of marriage and faces notable hardships from economic divides. Dating site research has also shown that Black women have extra bias against them, specifically from non-Black men, which can make it challenging to excel in the dating market. So you have a group of people who are looking for a way to succeed, and I can definitely empathize with that. And in an ideal world, you would be able to be your full self, and that would be enough for you to be loved completely. But we don't live in an ideal world, and a lot of times, whether it's trying to adhere to certain standards of femininity, whether it's changing your body, whether it's changing your hair, whether it's changing your face, those things do happen to endear you to certain audiences in a better light. And so when I look at the proliferation of femininity content that is pushed specifically on Black women, and I look at how many times being a certain type of woman is promoted as being the only way that you can be successful when it comes to getting into the type of relationship that will lead you to having a soft life, I understand that it comes from a place of, I don't want to say desperation, but just a deep need to acquire a standard of life that has not been so easy to acquire for a specific group of people. And this is why people watch the videos. And this is why, as many times as it's pointed out, that a lot of times the femininity coaches don't have partners themselves. People still watch their content. People will still pay for the classes. People will still, because they want to not end up alone. And I totally get that. Just to bring it back to the particular point of my video today, even though there are some whispers of femininity content within the soft life framing of one's particular lifestyle, what I really like is when you get down to it, it's groups of people looking for ways to live a life where they prioritize their peace above all else. I saw a video by a creator who was like, there's a lot of ways to live a soft life. It can just be things like using your hard-earned money to invest in items or services that will bring you peace. So earlier I talked about furniture assembly. And while I did eventually learn how to put a table together, I also have downloaded apps before where I can order a serviceman to come over and work on something for me if it's possible to get it through, like say I bought something at IKEA or something. I always get the assembly added on for like an extra $50 because I can afford it and because it is worth so much of my mental health and mental stress. Because I can learn how to do this stuff, but I don't really like it. But yeah, if I can afford somebody to come and do it, why not? Also things like, say you're really busy and you don't have time to maybe get home from work, do everything you have to do at home and like run to the grocery store. If you can afford it and you don't mind, do the grocery store delivery services. Another one that I saw was someone saying, take the vacation. If you need to move to a different city because you'll have peace there, do that. There was definitely a lot of emphasis on stepping away from hustle culture. I know that ran us as a society for a long time. And I saw some videos where people were like, I'm tired of leaning in. I want my life back. I'm gonna lean out. And if you don't know what that's in reference to, Sheryl Sandberg, who was a executive working at Facebook, and I think she had, I'll put her exact position here on the screen, but she wrote a book that was just like typical millennial boss babe culture stuff called Lean In, and it was how women can work more and take over more at the office. And so when I saw someone make a video that said, I'd like to lean out, I want my life back. Like, I don't mind working hard, but I would settle for maybe having less money, so that I can have more time to do the things that I love to do and live a more abundant life. My very favorite sort of summation of the soft life way of thinking comes from this author and tweeter. She says, I want a soft life. I want ease. I want relaxation. I do not want to hustle. I do not want to grind. Grinding wears you down to brittle nothingness. I do not want to work my life away. I want enjoyment and rest, not as rewards, but as practice. My life will be a practice in joy. If that wasn't so long, I might get it tattooed on my chest or something. I don't know. But I think that what she wrote there was revolutionary. It's definitely a hard thing for, I know, people like me who were raised by baby boomer parents who grew up in the civil rights era. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough for me to say, hey, you don't always have to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. You deserve to live softly. It is the way I want to continue on. I think for me, my 30s was tough. I definitely worked very, very hard. My operation that I mentioned earlier in the video that I had last year was actually not even something that was a result of me getting sick or anything of that nature. It was literally a stress-related injury, like emotional stress that I had given myself from just thinking that I had to stretch myself in a bunch of situations and do a bunch of things that at the end of the day did not bring me peace, did not bring me more money, but just sort of made life harder to live. And yeah, I'm tired of that. So yes, for me, when it comes to the endless conveyor belt of solutions for living that are touted on social media as the right way of existing, a soft life is the most attractive because, like I said before, it teaches you to prioritize your peace above all else. And it doesn't necessarily lock anyone into gender specific performativity in order to receive this, or a specific relationship status in order to perceive this. Yeah, I'm gonna be chasing that soft life lifestyle. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do as soon as I get this dog potty trained, because there's nothing soft about that process. That has been hell. Yeah. Thanks for watching.